say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so bright?
For the New York State AFL-CIO, I'm Darcy Wells, and this is Union Strong.
I'm proud.
I'm proud.
I am proud
I'm proud to be Union Strong.
to be Union Strong.
Be Union Strong.
Be Union Strong.
I'm a teacher, and I'm Union Strong.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
That was Kyle Viverito, who's fondly known as the Singing Electrician. He's a member of Local 3 IBEW, and he's also a member of the American Guild of Musical Artists. He's got quite a story to tell, and he's our guest today on the Union Strong podcast. Kyle, welcome to the Union Strong podcast. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for having me. It's my first podcast and I'm very excited.
So we just heard you singing, and I think that was happening at the UBS Arena, which is home to the NHL's New York Islanders, and you're wearing an electrician's vest. So there's definitely a story behind all that, and I want to hear about it. What is going on there?
Sure. So there's a little background. I'll give you the a brief history. I auditioned to be the Islanders' national anthem singer a couple years ago. And I actually had my friend's brother was working there, which I didn't know. My friend texted me later, and he told me, he's like, dude, did you just audition for the Islanders? I was like, yes, I did, actually. And he's like, well, my brother said that you have no competition. You're definitely getting it. And I was like, fingers crossed. I ultimately didn't get it. They gave it to Nicole Raviv, who was super talented. I mean, I had competition. So fast forward a few years, and I am working at the new UBS Arena. It's like my first day there, and I'm telling my partner all of this while I was working. And I was like, yeah, I was almost the anthem singer here, yada, yada, yada.
But wait a second. When you say your partner, when you were working as an electrician?
As an electrician, as a traveler with Local 25 on Long Island. But anyway, we were working in the the suites, and the suites are open to the arena. You could see where there's going to be the ice rink and whatever else they're going to set up there out in the open seatings, and we're in the nicer parts of suites. And I was telling my partner how I almost had the anthem, and I just did this Broadway audition. And he's like, well, can you sing something? And I was like, yeah. I was like, "O'er the land of the free," and I sang it like loud because I'm working. I'm not really doing anything wrong. It's a lot of noise. Before I know it, all these guys in suits come into where I'm working, and this guy goes, "I'm so and so. That was awesome. What are you doing here? And what's your deal?" And I told him, of course, my story, how I was almost the anthem singer 3 years or 2 years prior, and he was like, "Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to get you to sing here." I was like, "Okay. Don't threaten me with a good time, And so that's when I was working in the suites. And then I never heard anything for I don't know, I think maybe 2 more months passed. And now I was working in the team store. And, I have a tendency to sing when I'm working. And it brings camaraderie to the job. Other people start to sing. People sing all the time in construction when music is playing along.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
It can be a very social atmosphere, but we're working the whole time, but we're having a good time. So it's funny because when I sing and I have this operatic voice, other guys will they'll go like, whoa, just to mess around all the time. So eventually another bigwig from the Islanders came in. He was in charge of the team store, and he was like, "You sing good, man." He's like, "I really want to get you to sing here." And I told him about the other gentleman who was one of the owners of UBS Arena. So now I had these 2 different guys tell me that, and I'm like, sure, whatever. I keep my fingers crossed, but the next day, the entertainment crew for the New York Islanders that I had previously auditioned for walked into the team store, and they were like, "Hi, Kyle," and I was like, "Oh my God, I remember you." She's like, "I remember you too." She's like, "How would you like to sing for us?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Absolutely." And she was like, "We just hired our anthem singer, but we want you to sing New York, New York. It's a thing we're doing um, during our intermissions to try to bring the crowd in a little bit." So they offered that to me, and I took it. And that's basically how that went.
So, Kyle, you're an electrician by trade. You're also a classically trained tenor. Is that correct? How?
That's
Which?
exactly.
Which? The cart before the horse. Like, which one happened first here? How did this come about?
I went to school for music, and while I was in college at the University of Rhode Island, which is not a music school, but they had a good music program, and I went there. So while I was studying music, and then Local 3 has a summer helper program where if you are the son or daughter of a member, you can work in the summer for like a third year apprentice rate. I think I was making like 17 an hour, which for me at the time was great money. It's just for the summer. So you would just go and you would just help out on the job. You would just go basically be a gopher. They don't want you to get too involved with the working because construction is very dangerous and nobody wants to see a summer helper get hurt. You're a temporary worker.
But they're kind of
Um,
exposing you to the trade, and you get to see what's going on.
Correct. And I was like, I kind of like this. This is not a bad. The days are not too long. You're in early, out early, unless you're working overtime, and the money is good. The people are good, and the days go fast. Construction is very involved, so yes, some days are slower than others, like anywhere else. But like, I don't know. It's fun. It's fast moving sometimes. So the days go, and I was like, this could be a good career path if singing doesn't really work out for me. And my dad told me I had to apply for Local 3 anyway, no matter what, because it's too, being that he was in it and my dad was, I grew up with Local 3. My dad was very involved with Local 3 in general. And so I basically was going to events since I was a little kid. So Local 3 was always there in my life. So he's like, you have to, apply when you're old enough. It would be silly not to.
Fantastic. So, where else have you performed?
I've sang with Gilbert and Sullivan Opera Company of Long Island. I've sang with Di Capo Opera, which is now the new New York City Opera, and I have sung with them too. I have sung with I'm drawing a blank on the name, Regina Opera in Brooklyn, and those are the major companies I have sung for. I mean, Gilbert and Sullivan Opera Company of Long Island, not so major, but for the most part, those are the places I've sung. I actually did something brief with Florida Grand Opera while they were on tour. All that stuff was after work. I would go to work, and I go to rehearsal, and the performances were at night. And there was a couple times where I had to take off work to perform. But everybody, like I said, I'm not bashful. Everybody knew that this is kind of what I did. They said, okay, if you don't mind getting paid for the day, you're an apprentice. You're not getting fired, so no problem.
That's nice that they were that understanding. So, what do you like about it? What do you like about performing?
I've been very fortunate. I pretty much like everything. I'm a people person. I love getting in front of people, and I love to sing. I love to act. Or in an opera theater, which is smaller, and most people don't know this. Opera is sung without microphones, so you'll be singing. That's why our voices are trained so big, so we can amplify. We basically turn our bodies into a microphone, and you could sing over 200 instruments in an orchestra and be heard crystal clear in a 500 to 3,000 person theater. And I love that. I don't know what I would prefer. I love both so much. But I love performing in general. It's just something I've always done. Even before I knew I could really sing, I went to a summer camp, and there was like just something. I was a little kid, and there was something we had to put on a performance, and I don't know how we came up with this idea. We did this Kid Rock song called Ba With Da Ba, and I was Kid Rock. I didn't even know I could sing, but I did like the lead part. It's always been in me, I guess, a little,
And as far as your career as a member of Local 3, do you enjoy that with the the benefits and what that job brings to your life?
Local 3, I don't know what life I would have without Local 3. I more than enjoy all that. I'm actually having a baby in 10 weeks.
Wow,
So,
congratulations.
Thank you. It's my first, and I got married last year, and I just bought a house. I've done a lot in 2 years, and I don't really know if I didn't have Local 3 how any of that would come to be. And now I look forward to having, like, my wife is a teacher. We have we definitely have benefits through her.
Wow,
But,
she's a
like,
union member too. Union family.
Yes.
Good for you guys.
Union family. But Local 3's medical benefits are exceptional, especially for children, for
Fantastic.
infants, and so I enjoy it, to say the least.
Well, you have
very grateful.
you have an incredible voice, and
Thank you.
we met because now you're going to be singing the national anthem at the Mets game that's coming up for Union Strong Night on September 2nd. So we're really excited about that, and I know a lot of your Union brothers and sisters and siblings will all be there to watch you and to hear you. It's going to be fantastic.
Yes, I'm very, very excited. It's actually my third time singing for the Mets. The Mets hired me through the Islanders, and I sang 2 national anthems there. But this one's a little more special,
Yeah, definitely being Union Strong. What do you have to do for preparation for that?
Practice, sing the national anthem every day. The Islanders is easy. It's an enclosed arena, but a stadium is different because they are much bigger, and there is a huge echo. So the first time I sang for the Mets, and they told me this, and I knew it, but it's still shocking. So when I sang the first time, I was like, "Oh, say can you see?" And then I hear my voice starting, "Oh," and I went into like a little bit of shock, but I kept singing. This time, I want to make sure I get the national anthem done in under 90 seconds, like really the way I would perform it all the time.
We can't wait. We're really looking forward to it, Kyle. And thank you for coming on the podcast and sharing your story with us. It's really nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful, and this was great. It makes me feel very good. So thank you.
Right through the very heart of New York. I want to wake up in a city that doesn't sleep, and find I'm king of the hill, top of the heap.
Joining me on the podcast is our communications and campaigns coordinator, Liz O'Neill. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Darcy.
So he's fun, huh? He's got a lot going on.
Gosh, what a cool guy. I loved his story.
And what a voice, too. It's so impressive.
Yes, he has an incredible voice, just an incredible story. Just really cool to see someone, exploring 2 different avenues and what the unions have done for him. I mean, it's just like such a heartwarming story.
So as we mentioned, he's going to be singing the national anthem for our Union Strong Night at the Mets game at Citi Field. That's on September 2nd. And can you just remind people how they can get tickets so that they can go with us?
Yeah, the tickets are on our website, so I'll put the link in the show notes, but you can also find it on our events calendar. Tickets purchased through that link come with a free t-shirt, and you can join us down on the warning track. It's just such a good time. I mean, I went for the first time last year, and I just had such a blast. I mean, the energy is just amazing, being with your union family, and everyone's wearing their union shirts. It's just a great time.
Right. We've got our president. I think he's the one going to be throwing out the first pitch. So we do have a lot going on. Union Strong is going to be everywhere at Citi Field on that September 2nd. Well, thanks, Liz.
Thanks, Darcy.
This has been a production of the New York State AFL-CIO. Our president is Mario Salento. Our secretary-treasurer is Terry Melvin. We're a federation of 3,000 unions representing 2.5 million union members, retirees, and their families, with one goal: to raise the standard of living and quality of life of all working people. We keep New York State union strong by fighting for better wages, better benefits, and better working conditions. For more information on the labor movement in New York, visit nysaflcio.org. Until next time, stay union and stay strong.